I continue to watch rounds of showers and thunderstorms taking aim at the Bluegrass State. The updated hour-by-hour forecast just ahead.
The recent rainfall has caused some serious flooding issues here in Franklin County. Hear more next.
A man faces several charges after human feces, urine, and dead animals were found in his home. But there's more coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Well, the warmer temperatures are making it feel more like May than April out there.
But we still have some April showers to get through before we see any May flowers out there. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's up late with us tonight, tracking some more wet weather for the work week. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, we're going to see those rounds of showers and thunderstorms really picking up steam, both in coverage and intensity as we go through the next couple of days. And obviously, we're pretty waterlogged across Kentucky, so that is bad news. We look at Live First Alert Defender, everything in motion. Let's take the wide view because I want to show you what's developing now between Paducah and the St. Louis area. Look at the showers and thunderstorms that are going up here. What is here is likely then to roll eastward as we go into late tonight and early tomorrow with a renewed threat for some showers and thunderstorms that could put down some heavy rains. Right now, Live First Alert Defender across central and eastern Kentucky doesn't have a whole lot on it. Now let's put your radar in motion, show you the future radar hour by hour wise. Notice how that complex of showers and storms by shortly after daybreak tomorrow is working into parts of central and eastern Kentucky, and it is picking up steam. That could be a renewed heavy rainmaker as we go into the first half of tomorrow. And that's something we're going to have to really keep a very close eye on. So additional rounds of big boomers will follow that up for the next several days. No, it's not going to rain all the time, but when it does, it's going to come down at a good clip. We're going to track the potential for heavy rains and even the threat for severe weather later in the week as all that warm, humid May air causes us to pay a bit of a price as we go through the next several days. Guys, the updated hour-by-hour forecast and the new rainfall totals that I'm working on in about 10 minutes from now.
Chris, thank you. It is a long process as many people clean up from last week's heavy rain.
The historic rainfall damaged homes, businesses, and roads. Some counties, like Franklin County, are still under a state of emergency tonight. Check out this video of the Kentucky River that Officer Don took from Sky First. You can see how close it is to several homes. The river crested over the weekend. Jordan Valines is in Franklin County with a look at the flooding there. It's our top story at 11.
If there's one thing folks here have learned over the years,
if you live in Frankfort, you deal with the Kentucky River.
It's that flooding has become a fact of life. Just ask Bonnie Hughes.
No, from past floods, it has to be like around 40 feet before it starts into the house.
She's lived along the banks for more than 20 years.
Back in 97, 98, I think the river got up to like 47 feet.
And knows just as well as anyone that this serene piece of real estate,
it's usually very peaceful and very beautiful out here,
comes at a price.
It's just the river water that gives us trouble every now and then.
The recent rainfall caused creeks and rivers to spill out of the banks and into nearby streets, yards, and fields. By Monday, most of the water had receded off the roadways, but the reason why so many roads still remain closed was because of problems like this. As you can see here, big chunks of the roadway simply washed out, just like this one here on Glens Creek Road. And with more rain in the forecast,
keep listening to the weather reports.
Bonnie is keeping her fingers crossed.
We put everybody sort of on alert when the water starts coming up,
hoping that history won't repeat itself yet again. In Franklin County, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Areas in Franklin County near the Kentucky River will remain under a flood warning until early tomorrow morning.
In Bourbon County, people along Stoner Creek are cleaning up after their homes were damaged by floodwater as well. Emergency management officials say Stoner Creek rose from 18 to 27 feet in just under 12 hours on Friday. Anything above 25 is considered major flooding. One newlywed couple and their 2 children came home on Saturday to find their entire house flooded. They tell us there was at least 3 feet of water in their house.
We had to come through our neighbor's backyard and climb the fence to get to the house because it was still up to the porch.
The newlyweds threw all of their carpet and furniture but also lost several photos, including their wedding pictures. Stoner Creek receded to 14 feet earlier this afternoon, but EMA officials are worried that more rain later this week could cause the creek to go up again.
In Scott County, people there are seeing some of the worst flooding since 1997. The Elkhorn Creek rose, flooding several nearby homes and businesses. And Arby's in Georgetown got the worst of it. At Arby's, water made it up to the bottoms of the chairs in the restaurant, forcing them to close. Managers hope to reopen by the end of the week. The floodwater also got into at least 6 homes on Elkhorn Meadows Drive. Those homeowners tell us they had to have their water heaters replaced.
They didn't get taken out, and a lot of them floated and tipped over and broke the pipe.
Well, the owners of the Elkhorn Plaza tell us that after the flood in 1997, they raised all of the buildings they own by a couple of feet. They say it paid off over the weekend. With more rain and storms in the forecast this week, stay with WKYT for the latest weather updates. You can download the WKYT First Alert Defender Radar app for your iPad or smartphone, or go to WKYT.com for the latest information.
Some disturbing accusations tonight against a southern Kentucky man. Police in Wayne County say Gary Cox abused his mother by locking her inside her room. Inside that room, police tell us they found buckets of urine and feces and animal carcasses. Monique Blair went to the home today. She tells us what else was found there. It's a story that's new at 11.
Well, they kicked the door in. When they did, the smell made everyone throw up.
Deputies with the Wayne County Sheriff's Office came out to 53-year-old Gary Cox's home Friday to check on his mom after she missed a dialysis appointment. When they showed up, there was a padlock on the only accessible door to the home, and Cox's mom was locked inside.
I don't really believe Gary had locked the door to be mean. I believe he locked it because the door was broken.
Cox was arrested and charged with unlawful imprisonment and wanton endangerment. But deputies found more inside his home.
I know 2 dogs in the house that was dead, one with its head cut off. It looked like something had chewed on it.
Deputies say they found a dead dog along with several buckets of human feces and urine near the bed Cox's mom was lying on. They also found several dog and cat carcasses behind this home.
I don't know, it's disturbing, but you know, I know the kind of person he was.
Neighbors tell me there was always a smell coming from Cox's home. Austin Valentine says he went inside one time, and although he never saw any of the animal carcasses, he was barely able to walk through the home.
They was like you couldn't even tell there's so much stuff piled on each other. Like you had to turn sideways to get through it.
Cox is also charged with 10 counts of animal cruelty, 2nd degree, and is being held in the Wayne County Detention Center on a $50,000 cash bond.
I never felt unsafe, but he didn't give me that uneasy feeling. You know, he was just so friendly.
In Wayne County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Cox's mother is being treated at UK Hospital. Deputies say she had an infection when she was found on Friday.
A southeastern Kentucky man is in jail after telling police he wasn't going back there. On Sunday night, Jack Rose was pulled over for a traffic stop but took off, leading police on a chase through Barberville. When police were finally able to stop Rose in a Taco Bell parking lot, they say he didn't get out of the car. Officers had to open the car doors themselves and try to wrestle him out of the car. Police tell us they did all they could to protect themselves and others in harm's way.
He was very much putting them in danger. He hit him, he did whatever he could to get away, so they had to do what they had to do to stop him.
Police tell us that none of the troopers were hurt in the incident. Rose is facing more than a dozen charges. 2 people are recovering at UK Hospital after a crash in Fleming County earlier today. State police say 50-year-old Carla Logan was heading east on Kentucky 32 near Crane Creek Road when she crossed the center line and hit another vehicle head-on. Logan and the driver of the other vehicle, 20-year-old Brandy Purcell, were taken to the hospital.
Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky is expected to join the race for the White House tomorrow. The GOP hopeful released a new video overnight. It teases his big announcement. The video features a number of national news anchors all touting the senator as someone who breaks the mold. It's a message that will likely match his speech tomorrow in Louisville, where he'll likely become the 2nd Republican to formally announce a presidential run. Under current state law, Senator Paul cannot run for both president and U.S. senator, 2 offices that are both up for election in 2016. Governor Beshear has vetoed parts of a state spending bill that he says will prevent budget cuts to several state programs. When House Bill 510 was passed during the session, lawmakers spent an extra $68 million the state received in a settlement with tobacco companies. $26 million of that $68 million was meant to help an estimated deficit. But the state budget says that deficit has grown to $38 million. Since the legislature session is over, lawmakers could not amend the bill.
Kentucky's hemp production is taking deeper root as pilot projects expand in the second year of testing its potential. The state's agriculture department says this spring planting season is expected to include several hundred acres of hemp. Statewide, hemp plantings totaled about 36 acres last year. More than 100 farmers and processors are expected to participate in the next round of projects.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A magazine faces a potential lawsuit after one of their articles was proven false.
After an external review, Rolling Stone officially retracted its story about an alleged sexual assault at the University of Virginia. And now that fraternity named in the piece is threatening to sue the magazine. The article, published in November, detailed the story of a student named Jackie, who said she was gang raped at a Phi Kappa Psi fraternity party back in 2012. But the story quickly unraveled.
We found no evidence that Jackie ever requested that they refrain from checking her story independently. In one case, she even suggested a way that they could do so.
The report said the biggest mistake was not contacting the 3 friends who Jackie spoke to the night she said she was raped. In a statement today, the fraternity called Rolling Stone's reporting reckless and said it plans to pursue all available legal action against the magazine. Rolling Stone has apologized, but the magazine says no one will be fired. A conviction is considered to be a near certainty as the trial of Johar Tsarnaev goes to the jury. In closing arguments today, a defense lawyer said that Johar did partake in the Boston Marathon bombing, but had been controlled by his older brother, Tamerlan. Jury deliberations are expected to begin tomorrow.
Firefighters continue to put out hot spots at a 6-acre building inside the GE Appliance Park in Louisville. The 6-alarm fire broke out Friday morning. While a shelter-in-place advisory has been lifted, the smell of smoke still lingers in the area. Louisville's health department says the soot shouldn't have any lasting effects, but the smell in the air will likely stick around until the cleanup is done. A GE spokeswoman says they hope to extinguish the fire within the next 24 hours. Court proceedings in an eastern Kentucky county have been canceled because of a troubling air quality report. The Magoffin County Justice Center is closed indefinitely until they can figure out what the problem is. An environmental team will run more tests tomorrow to hopefully get an answer. Officials are hopeful the problem can be found and fixed quickly.
See if we can get back in the building or if we have to go to an alternative site, which we have been looking at those to see when we can be back up and running.
Officials say they are hopeful repairs can be made to the Justice Center so they do not have to find another location. The Justice Center also houses the circuit clerk's office.
It's a reminder to keep your eyes on the road. April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, which means more officers watching for people not paying attention to the road. The Madison County Sheriff's Office says that thanks to a federal grant, they can afford to put extra officers out on the road to do nothing but check for driving infractions.
It is a weapon. I mean, it's a 1,200-pound vehicle going down the road, and only you have control of it.
And they want to remind drivers that cell phone use, along with pets on the driver's lap, reading, reaching for items, are all distractions they are looking out for.